And we are back, folks, here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTKA, online at the big1050.com. Sam Webb, Mr. Ira Weintraub on the other side, and we are here with our Monday morning quarterback, Mr. Denard Robinson, in the building. Shoelace himself is here to break down a W that saw the quarterback face a lot of pressure, have to make some things happen. He handled it well. Was a big boy when, there were some frustrating moments. He didn't let those frustrating moments get to him. Denard, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, my guy. How you doing, man? Everything's good? How everything going your way?
Everything is going great my way, especially now that you're here to help us break things down. The Monday morning quarterback, folks, is brought to you by our friends at Golden Limousine. All across the country, Michigan rides on Golden. And you can too, from Detroit to Ann Arbor and beyond. Join the teams, businesses, and communities that trust Golden for safe, professional transportation. Visit goldenlimo.com to book your ride now. Lace, man, there's so much to talk about this week.
Much.
As the Wolverines, they came off the bye, taking on a Wisconsin team that is struggling mightily. They, at the last game before the bye, the Badgers over at Camp Randall, their fan base, they were chanting "Fire Fickle, Fire Fickle."
Wow.
They had tried to install a wide open offense, throwing it around the yard, totally against their identity. A team without an identity came here. People were expecting, myself included, for Michigan to blow this team out the water.
For sure.
Part of that equation was Michigan was going to be able to light this team up through the air. I was talking about Andrew Marsh.
Andrew Marsh, yeah.
Was going to be a part of this equation. That Michigan was going to be able to throw this football. And they came out with a flea flicker, just kind of adding to that, right? Told you. Michigan was going to try to throw this football all over the Badgers.
You talked about it big. You said it. Andrew Marsh had a good game. He had a great game.
He did.
It was a great showing for his first, coming out a little bit, coming out party a little bit. It was a coming out game for him.
But Lace, they came out and they tried to throw it all over Wisconsin.
Right.
They tried to throw it all over Wisconsin. But they couldn't do it.
Right.
Because they couldn't protect. Now, so take me into what they tried to do and take me into what Bryce did along the way and how you thought he did in the game.
I thought Bryce played well. If I'm grading him, I say a B minus. Me personally, I say a B minus. Yeah, he left a couple plays on the field. But I did like how he did his thing with going through the progression, putting his head where he needed to be at, where the reads was supposed to be. He did a good job reading the defense and taking what the defense gave him. I think he did a good job of doing that. But then he had a couple of plays that he left a couple of plays on the field. That happens if you're a quarterback. It always happens, and that's what film is for on Sunday.
Yeah, man. We felt like, and we talked about this over the first. Or before the bye, so the first 4 games, Michigan had established they could run the football. Right? They inserted Bryce in the game, so now teams have to account for Bryce running the football.
Yes, they
had established an outside zone element to the game, so now you got to prepare for Michigan can gap you and they can get outside with the zone. Teams are going to be deathly afraid of them running the football, so now they're going to load up and say, you got to throw it on us. And Michigan's response to that is, we're going to drop back pass.
Yes.
Michigan got in this game. Clearly, they were going to try to do that. Well, Lace, every time it felt like they dropped back pass, it was somebody in Bryce's lap.
Oh, for sure.
In this game.
Yeah, but I got to credit it to Wisconsin having a good D-line. I feel like they D-line, the middle guys, the D-tackle, the no tackle played a good game. And that's why they was always in his lap. And I think that's growing pains with this O-line. I think the O-line is going to be better off with play action instead of a straight drop back quarterback right now. And I think that's the biggest thing that if I'm Chip, I'm thinking, hey, I think these guys can protect in the play action game more than they can protect in a straight drop back with this guy. So I think that's the biggest thing for this. And I think we got to use that to our strength. You know, that got to be one of the things that we use because now our receivers can get behind the guys, our tight ends can get behind those dudes. So I think that's the biggest thing for my take from this.
Yeah, we saw Chip have to adjust.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and he did. I mean, we saw him, you know, the nakeds, the sprint outs, the dashes.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about one of those.
He rolled out. Oh my
God. Screens. Like he did different things to account for we can't drop back pass on these guys.
Yeah.
Because you know what? If we do, they're going to blow up our offense. Now, here's the thing. What I liked. When they were in Bryce's lap, I mean, the young fella was getting out of there. He was getting out of it.
Never panic. That's what we expect from him. I think that's what we're gonna start expecting from him. Like if they get in his lap, he's gonna get out of it. He's a big, strong kid. This guy is strong. And you can see it in his build and the way he carries himself, the way he block guys, the way he run the ball. Like you could tell that he has that ability to escape the pocket. I'm not saying he's Big Ben, but he's one of those guys that if you grab him, he's not going down easy.
Yeah, man. I there was one that he dropped back. He got to the top of the drop, and as soon as he's at the top of the drop, it's like two guys are converging, and then he split them and he's up the field.
Yes.
Like
but that's what type of kid we got. That's the type of young man that we have, and I think he's gonna be special, man. Watching him doing those type of things is like, okay, it's gonna become the norm. You know, like how we looked at Cam Newton at one point. That's probably how we're gonna start looking at him. I'm not saying he has that ability. I'm not gonna put that because Cam Newton had, I would say, one of the best 1 year college football moments and college since I've been watching college football. I mean, one player just took over one team. I think Bryce has that type of ability, like how Cam Newton did at Auburn.
So let's highlight some of the good things, some of the good plays he had before we start breaking down some of the things that you want to see him improve upon. Because I know there's some things you want to touch on there.
Oh yeah,
but sure. there was a play early in the game. I know that you were talking about. With the check down that he had to Justice Haynes.
Yep.
Where it looked like he went through every receiver in the progression.
You could tell he went through the first read, the second read, the third read, and then he came down to the fourth. And it was crazy because normally guys would tell you go 1, 2, 3 and check it down because that's the clock in your head. You have the 1, 2, 3, but you could see on his helmet he went 1. He was like, okay, I'm gonna check this first. I didn't like the one-on-one matchup. Now he went to the read that the 3-man side, and he went boom, 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 and he came down right to the check down. And you can see the timing of even when Justin Hayes turned around, it's like, okay, Justice checked and then got to that spot, and the ball was already coming there. That's how you know he went through the progression and got to him. And when you start seeing that, you're starting to see that the kid is starting to understand the playbook, and he's starting to understand defense. And he's like, okay, that's what they took. They took this, they took that, and they didn't give me that. Okay, now I'm coming here with the ball. And that's one thing you love to see from a young quarterback. If a young quarterback start hitting check downs, that means he's moving in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. And then I know his best throw of the game. You said you wouldn't have thrown it.
I wouldn't have thrown it, but I mean that
it was a dash flood.
It was a flood. He did a rollout flood, and I like how they got to it though. It was like he kind of stepped back and let the running back get in front of him, and then he led him to the flood. And when he's running, I'm like, man, I think I would have pressed it and just took it. But you know, when you got that type of arm talent, this guy he got the ball, and I mean, rolling out on the run and throw the ball to his guy. I mean, it's a linebacker right in front of the guy, and you watching him go through this progression, and he's like, all right, I got him. And it's a safety over top because he got to go with the go roll. And then it's a linebacker that's trying to get into that window, and he leads his guy perfectly. If the ball is like an inch behind, it's probably intercepted. So, I mean, the type of throws this guy make, I mean, it's special. And when you watch it, when you see him make those type of throws, you like, okay, we got somebody special, and we know it.
Yeah, you can't appreciate how good a throw it is on the TV copy. You got to see it on the R22.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's special. I mean, you see it get through there. Like, I mean, not too many quarterbacks can make that throw, and I mean the way he got it through there, and I mean the accuracy of that pass. I mean, if it's just a tad bit behind, it's picked off. It's going the other way. And the defender played it to the best of his ability. And I mean, that kid put it in there, and I mean, nobody. We haven't seen that since JJ.
Yeah, you know what? I think we can say this right now. He is a great thrower on the run.
Oh, for sure.
Great.
Oh yeah.
Thrower on the run.
Oh yeah.
To the point where if you're Chip, you're like anything you want to do. So pocket movement plays, nakeds, like any throws on the run, he can execute.
He's gonna square his shoulders and make the throw. I mean, and it's film to show that. He's not gonna make the bad read. He's gonna either take off or he's gonna throw. It's film to back that up. So we gotta start getting him on the run a little bit more and just let him be him. I think put him on the run and let him do what he do best. I mean, I think he throw the ball better than anybody in the country right now.
Yeah, that's why if you are in a situation where, man, you got to scrap a good portion of your game plan, which situation he was in on Saturday,
right?
You still have a healthy arsenal because your quarterback can do everything on the move, right? So you got a huge sample space still at your proposal. There was the RPO X slant for a TD. I know we didn't that he had. I know what you're talking about, that was good.
Yes, I mean that was a perfect pull. He read it right. Got it to his guy. I mean that's what you want. He had a couple of those, and then he had a couple of the ones that I felt like he should have.
Yeah. So and that's the reason why I mentioned that.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get to the ones where the decisions didn't seem like to me, my novice perspective, didn't seem like the right decisions to me.
Oh yeah.
So there was one, and they were really close together.
Right.
There was the one, I think it was play 48.
48 and then 50,
where it was a stretch bubble, and he decided to give it, and in the end he crashed down hard.
He crashed down super hard. I mean, that was. I'm pretty sure you could tell the way he looked after he gave it. He didn't come off the fake. He didn't even fake the ball. Like normally, if you run a zone read like that, if you run inside zone or outside zone, whatever, and as a quarterback, you hand it off and you take off just to hold the end, just to hold him and make him respect what you're doing. But that end had no respect for him, and he just turned and ran. He should have pulled it. I mean, he probably still running right now. So I mean, that's one of the ones that he's gonna watch on film and be like, damn, I had that one. That was an easy pull. So and you could tell it was a read because nobody touched the end. So
yeah, and then play 50, insert bubble.
Yeah, the linebacker just flew. I mean, the linebacker went with the guy that came in motion.
The bubble, and he throws it anyway.
He should have gave it. And that's that comes with learning where your eyes are supposed to be at all times. And if the eyes are right, you're gonna make them make the wrong decision. So that's one of the ones that he gonna watch on film, and him and Chip gonna go up and Chip gonna be like, man, you could have had that's easy 10 yards running. And if you give it, that's easy 5 or 6, 4 yards. That's easy for us to do because now we have the numbers in the box. That's the biggest thing, knowing the numbers in the box and knowing okay, how can we benefit from that? Now it changed the angles of the O-line when the linebacker leaves. And now you got plus numbers in the box, so that's the biggest thing. So you want to know the box, and you got to know when the end is crashing like that. I mean, that means he's disrespecting you, and that's how I always looked at it like that. If you don't disrespect me and leave, I'll make you pay for that. So
yeah, so he, it's not like everything. It was, that's why you gave him a B-.
Yes,
B-,
yes.
C grade.
Yes,
and there wasn't everything, was on the protection.
Right.
Or everything was on the drops, which I want to get to.
Oh man,
because I mean they weren't helping the young fella.
Yeah, I mean
they weren't helping the young fella out in this game, man.
Yeah, but McCullough had a couple of catches that you got to be like, all right, that kind of makes up for the drops.
Yeah, he did.
He had a couple. I was like, man, watch him make that catch. I was like, that's special. That kid, and I told you he's gonna. I think from now on, it's gonna be normal for him to go up and see. When I'm older, I'm pretty sure you appreciate this. We used to call it moss. You get moss, so they're gonna start getting. It's gonna be a lot of moss catches by McCullough. I think that's what's gonna start happening, and he's gonna start making a lot of crazy catches like the Brother Edwards. He got the number 1 on, so Brother Edwards used to go up and get the ball like that too. So watching him, I'm looking at him like, man, this dude could jump. I mean, He's explosive, and his ball radius, catch radius is crazy. And when you give him a chance to go catch the ball, I mean, 9 out of 10 times he's coming down with it. And you could tell that, I could tell that he probably make even more crazier catches in practice than he do in the games.
Yeah.
And so I could tell because the way Bryce throws the ball up to him is like, all right, I know he's coming down with it. Like he has so much confidence in him that it's kind of cool to see, like, all right, I can just put it in his area. I know he's gonna come down with it, or it's gonna be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, man. You heard them talking about, or Sharon especially talking about McCulley. You heard McCulley saying McCulley was like he was like an Andrew Marsh, is what he was saying. He was like an Andrew Marsh, and I mean, still not Andrew Marsh, like a Nico Collins. And we see evidence of that in the game. I mean, the balls that he's been able to go up and get this season have been very Nico-like. And so that has been established. Like he's a guy. I think Andrew Marsh, in the very limited action that we've seen, this is why you got to roll with that young fella. Talking about him for a reason all season. Talk about him for a reason heading into this week.
You did not miss at all. You said it's going to be a big game for him. And look, he had 4 catches for 80 yards.
Come on, man. Come on, man. And so you have a situation in this game where the guys who have established themselves from a talent perspective as playmakers rose to the fore.
Okay.
Now, the routine plays, though, not playmaker plays.
Right.
The routine plays weren't always made. Herein lies one of the issues that I think that they've kind of had this season, where there were a couple of third down plays where, Bryce maybe ran around and found a guy and the ball was dropped. That happened twice.
Right. Yeah, that's too many.
That happened twice. And then there was another drop.
Right.
Lace. And so, I'm curious. I'm sure how did you handle that as a quarterback when you had drops with guys? How did you?
It depends. It depends on who it was. I mean, like it's funny because Junior Hemingway was in town this weekend, and I'll never forget. We was in Iowa. We was at Iowa. We playing against Iowa. It was 2011. It was his senior year, and I don't know what happened. We had a slow start that game, and I mean he had a slow start. I could tell he wasn't feeling it, and he had a couple of drops early on in the game. But I know Junior. I'm like, all right, me and him had that relationship. So when I'm talking to him, I'm like, all right, what's up? You good? He's like, all right, come back to me. And when I start going back to him, he started catching the ball. So I knew I could go to him. And we would have had that happen in practice. And at the end of practice, he's making the plays for me. So it depends on who it is. It depends on if a guy could get out of the funk, or if it's one of the guys that can't get out of the funk. And that's when you start knowing your team. You start knowing your players. You start knowing how to get guys to motivate them and get them going. With Junior, I didn't have to motivate him. Only thing I had to do is say, I'm coming back to you. And that's gonna make that catch. It's gonna play ball. And so that with him, it was just like basically saying, hey, I got confidence in you and let's go get it. And he showed it. He always showed up and did what he needed to do. Same thing with Roy Roundtree. Is if I was with Roy come to me like, man, I got you next time. Just give me the ball. Get the ball back to me. I got you. And so we got to figure out what kind of receivers we have right now. And that's the biggest thing. Are those the guys that Bryce need to go up to and say, hey, man, I'm coming back to you? Or these are guys that say, hey, it's on me. I'm going to make, hey, just give me the chance to catch it again. So I think that's the biggest thing right now for them is like, okay, y'all got to start, you got to start going to the quarterback and tell him, hey, I got you. That's on me. Like,
yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah, but you gotta really look him in his eyes when you say that, and you could tell when it's really not.
Yeah, so Bryce handled it like a vet.
Oh, for sure, he did.
I shouldn't say like a vet. He handled it like a vet that is a guy that picks his teammates up. He didn't handle it like a vet like Aaron Rodgers, who was going to be like,
no. See, and that's the thing about it. Guys are ready to play for guys that go to you and talk to you and be like, hey, I'm coming back to you, and handle you a certain way. But when you bash them and go at them, or you talk about them in the media, now we're in trouble. It's turmoil. It's bad for the locker room. It's turmoil for the locker room. You don't want them to mess up the locker room. And you want to play at good seeds, not bad seeds in these receivers' head. You want them to be ready to go at any time. And I think that's the biggest thing. When you have a guy like Bryce and he's like, all right, let's go, guys. That's the best way. But my opinion about that situation is now start putting the guys that make plays for him in the game more. You know, put it in the two tight end sets. Put in the guys where you got Andrew Marsh and McCullough as the receivers and 2 tight ends, and those guys.
So more 12 personnel.
Yeah, more 12 personnel. You put those guys in positions to make plays. You know, so because we know Marlon gonna make plays for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know McCullough gonna make plays for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're starting to see Marsh gonna make plays for him. So when you get those guys on the field and start making those the factors that's gonna, for a young quarterback, you need guys that's gonna be reliable. You know,
yeah, that would be a pivot for Chip. That would be a pivot for Chip for part of his game plan,
right?
Part of his offense, but it might be a necessary pivot,
right?
Based on what your best personnel package is,
right? Yeah,
and I mean, and you just got to call it what it is. I mean, if your most consistent playmaking package isn't what we've seen over the first 4 games, then you just gotta make the adjustment.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like, who's the guys that making these plays for us? Who's giving us the consistent 10 yards or 5 yards or 6? Who's the guys that we rely on on third down? Who we going to on third down? It's 35. Who we going to? Who I know going to make the play for our young quarterback? And I think that's the biggest thing. You want to have those guys in the game. And if they're going to make the catches, they're going to make the throws, they're going to make the right reads, or they're going to read it just as well as the quarterback is reading it, and they're getting in the right position to catch the ball. I think that's what you put in the game.
Yeah, you got to have 3 receivers that are going to catch the football consistently, to put 3 receivers on the field at the same time consistently, right?
Yeah,
and they haven't had 3 receivers that are going to catch the football consistently.
Right, that is true.
So
that is true.
I get your point, because what I said after the game was that Ron was going to have to shorten his rotation to 3 guys. But the fact of the matter is, there aren't 3 guys who have played consistent football at that position.
Right.
There aren't.
Yeah. I mean, Samaj do a great job in the side, catching the bubbles and doing his thing with that. I love Samaj on the bubbles, the screens, and doing things like that. But now I want to start seeing Samaj make those plays downfield. Like I see him do his freshman year. So now we got to get those answers, you know. And I think Samaj could answer the bell, and I think that's what he could do. I think he got that ability, but we got to be more consistently doing that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, this is a big week for. Well, it's not just a big week. This is for that group, for that position group. It's crunch time for them.
Right.
You know, they got to really step up. Especially the guys that have been struggling.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I know there was Channing was starting, and then he wound up losing his job.
Right.
Ma he's had some drops. Right. You've had Kendrick has been trying to get in the lineup. He's had some drops. Right. Fred transferred.
Yeah.
That was a direct. Andrew Marsh.
Yeah.
Come on, I was talking about Andrew Marsh for a reason.
Yeah, you're right. You called it. I'm not going. When you're right, you're right. Sam, you're right. When you said it, I was like, dang, okay. But I knew Andrew Marsh was a guy that could play, you know. But I thought for sure that Fred was sticking out in the fight. But you know, it is what it is. He did what the best for him. So I can't get mad at him. Can't fault the kid.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm saying it's crunch time. Like one of those guys, or all of them, have got, and that doesn't mean that McCulley doesn't have to keep doing what he's doing, and Andrew has to keep, straining and pushing.
Right.
But for those guys that I mentioned who have all had their struggles, they have got to step up.
No, they got to lock in. They got to lock in, because now you get 3 receivers that could make the plays for your young quarterback. It becomes special. You know, it could become something that, you know, you can't you stop the run there. Now you got to stop these 3 receivers going at you. You know, so but is it 3 receivers, or should it be 2 tight ends and 12 personnel? You know, right. So what is it? What would it be? You know, we don't know. But what I do know is those tight ends could catch the ball. They're gonna do whatever it takes to go get the ball. And I thought Marlon and Marlon Klein had a good good thing going early on, but we'll see what happens. Like, after the injury, he hasn't really showed up lately. I don't know what's going on with him.
So. Yeah, what I thought was going to happen as I'm watching it, I was like, you know what I figure they might do is have Kendrick kind of learn this play the Z because right now he is McCulley's back up at the X,
right,
and Andrew Marsh is the Z. It's like, hey man. It's like Maj better watch out. They might have Andrew play at the slot, and have Kendrick play the Z. And then it like soon as I said that was when you had Bryce scramble and throw Kendrick that ball,
right,
and he dropped it.
Yeah,
and then it's like, man, well, if that's gonna happen,
we got to figure something out.
You got to figure something out,
right? And so that's what I'm saying. So like you got to start now. You starting to get into those things that was like, okay, what's our identity and who's our guys that we can depend on? And so that's where we at now. We're in that type of season, and this type of that part of the season is like, who are the guys that we can rely on third and 8? Who can rely on to make these plays for us? Who we know gonna come down and make the catch for us? And I think that's where we at in the season right now. And right now some of the receivers not looking good right now. So they got to pick it up and get themselves together and do what they need to do.
Yeah, it was. It's not over for those guys.
Oh no,
that's the thing. It's not over for them.
Be ready to work. Call it.
Yeah, there's still an opportunity.
Oh, for sure.
It's a season left, and Bryce obviously. It's not like he gave up on him. Like, hey, he was like, next play.
Yes,
that's how I get that young fella credit. So talk about. I mean, this is a kid who's shown great maturity and leadership.
So I was just watching. Like I'm watching. I just watch. I always pay attention to how he interact with people, what he do, how he talk, and I could tell that he didn't go out. I could tell that he talked about it in his press conference I was watching the other day, and he was saying how I don't want to be the freshman that come out rah and do all this stuff because no senior want to hear a freshman think he could just come out and just be the leader. And now it seemed like he's starting to take on that role of being the leader of the team and commanding that. Like you watch it and you see where he talked to the guys, the way he grabbed guys over and be like, "Hey, let's do this." Even when they play Oklahoma, I could see that he was trying to grab Justice Haynes to talk to him. Like it wasn't to go at him. It was like, "Hey, let's talk about this." Like, and I think you starting to see that maturity of him growing up faster and taking on a leadership role on the team. And I think when you have that, now these guys gonna follow. And now your receivers, you gotta go start saying, hey, we gotta start doing some extra throwing. We gotta start catching the ball. And then you start knowing the guy's catch radius. You start knowing, okay, well, I can put the ball on this guy, where I can't put the ball for this guy. So like sometimes you got guys that those fingertip catches, they'll make them. You got some guys that if you put it too far outside their body, they're not gonna catch it. They more closer. They like the closer to their body or catch with their body. So you start realizing those little things too.
Yeah, and then Bryce, I think I don't know how much he talked about it. I mean, there were the plays that were routine, like the one where he hit Maj on the. I mean, that's like Maj might still be running,
right?
The one where he hit Max on the third down. That was a breadbasket. The one to Kendrick would have had to make a great catch.
Yes.
It would have been a great catch, a tough catch.
Right.
But he hit him in the hands. That would have been more a tough play. But
I mean, he is Ronnie Bell's brother, so Ronnie Bell made some crazy catches.
Oh, that one hander that Ronnie made.
So that's what I'm saying. Hey, you gotta live up to your brother's standard. I mean, you came in you follow his footsteps. Yeah. You gotta be ready to make those type of catches, and I think he's gonna be one of those guys. I mean, this is only his second and third year transition from quarterback to receiver now, and I think it's those catches are gonna start happening for him because I've seen him make crazy catches in practice. So I think it's going to start happening more often than not.
So before we get to the break, let's kind of set up on the other side.
Okay.
Some things because you said one remedy would be more 12 person.
Yes.
So I initially said shorten your rotation.
Right.
And that means that those guys, especially Donovan McCulley and Andrew Marsh playing more snaps.
Yes.
Like that. So that's one option. You said more 12 personnel.
Yeah.
Right. So that's them playing more snaps. What about and chew on this. More play action. We'll get to that. Pause. We'll get to that on the other side here on the Michigan Insider. Monday morning quarterback on the other side on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTK online on the Big1050.com.
Clear on the radio.
That's a good night. I think that's gonna be
what play action.
Man, I told you it's gonna be the biggest thing for them to have.
Yeah, so people are in the chat. They were like talking about the pass to Kendrick, saying they it would have been a real tough catch. I agree, it would have been a tough catch.
For sure.
But you know, how do you feel about?
But that's why I tell you, like, some guys can make those fingertip catches or the crazy. Like,
they need you on the mic. On the mic, yeah.
Well, you just still need
we in the breaks. We still on YouTube.
No. So I think those type of catches are like McCullough can make those type of catches. Like, if you put the ball around him like that, he's making that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now, you know, you got to get, like, I think with Bell, he's gonna start making those catches. He's got to get used to making those routine catches like that. I think that's a tough one for him. I mean, I feel like, you know, he's getting used to being in that role a little more now, because I feel like, you know, coming from quarterback, that's kind of tough. And I played quarterback, so I kind of be having that feeling of, like, you know, still doing, like, okay, how I feel to be a quarterback and trying to catch those balls and doing different things. So for him, I think it would have been special. It was been one of those ones that his brother used to make. But I think he's gonna get to that point, and I think he has a guy. McCullough is one of those guys that will make those type of crazy catches, and I think Marsh has that same ability.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they one guy was talking about Jamar Browder. Yeah, Sharon did mention him in the press conference last week. Clearly, he's not as far along as Andrew Marsh in being an every down guy,
right?
Meaning, so what I mean, you touched on it, Lace.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even just running the routes. It's making the adjustments and knowing the motions and shifts.
Yes,
right.
Yes, if you don't, and you got to know the motions, you got to know where you line up at. You got to know why you got to continue on a route, because it might be a guy coming behind you. You can't slow down because it's a route that you're trying to clear out for. Those different things, you have to know everything. So like some details, you know, you could teach it. He might know, I'm running a dig, but why are you running a dig? Are you clearing it out for somebody? Is it high low? What are you doing it for? Are you running the go route to mandatory outside release? So that means you cannot release inside because it's a 5 yard out coming out there and it's cover 2. So you got to take the DB out the way. But because if it is an out route and they throw it, the DB is being pushed back by you running the go route. Like, those are little details that you got to know why you're doing it and when you're doing it and how you're supposed to do it to protect your guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so some things like that, like some guys are learning.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, he would be getting more reps.
Oh, for sure.
He would be getting more reps for me, because if the guys who are playing are messing up, what you get to the point where you just don't have much to lose. In addition to, obviously, you're shortening the rotation, more 12 personnel, like you said.
Right,
so.
Right. But what you do is, if you shorten it and you have 12 personnel, then now
Monday morning quarterback,
for him to learn the
Denard
offense, because now we just more in 12 personnel.
Shoelace is flopping in the wind, goes all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan.
On the Big 1050 WTKA.
And we are back, folks, here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTKA, online at the Big1050.com. Sam Webb, Ira Weintraub on the other side. We have our Monday morning quarterback, Denard Robinson, Shoelace in the building. Our Mmqb is brought to you by Golden Limousine. Excellence on the road begins with Golden Limousine International. From charter buses for big events to executive travel across the Midwest, Golden Limo delivers safety, reliability, and sophistication. Discover the possibilities at goldenlimo.com and book now when you see Michigan football. When they arrive at the stadium, when they're on the way to the airport, Michigan is riding on Golden, and you can too. Denard, when you made it out to the tailgate,
oh yeah, that was good.
UNCU tailgate, you arrived on Golden, man.
Oh yeah, I felt good riding around in Golden, man. I ended up going to Detroit, grabbing some wings and stuff, But I got to talk about that event. That event was great, man. Going to that event and just being a part of that. The fans that came out, it was good, man. It was good. I got to throw the ball around a little bit, hit a couple of targets.
Okay, you still had it. You still got it.
Yeah, I still had it. I had to warm it up a little bit, and you know, I got challenged by somebody that I beat up pretty good, so I still got it a little bit. It's like riding a bike. You don't lose it.
There you go. There you go. So, Lace, you know, we were talking about it in the break. You know, how you kind of work guys in, work a guy like Jamar Browder in, who might not be as far along as Andrew Marsh, but he has talent. He's McCulley-like with his catch radius. He's McCulley-like in his ability to moss guys.
Right.
On a talent spectrum,
yes,
he's up there, but on a knowledge spectrum, you're still trying to bring him along. But if guys in front of him are messing up, you know, you get to the point where the head coach mentioned him for a reason. Like, there was a message in that.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? If the head coach is talking about the young guys, he was, like, you know, he ain't just doing that to be doing it.
I mean, but you got to think about it. That guy. So he probably done seen that guy make so many catches in practice, and he's like, if we could get him just to learn it enough to do this on Saturday, oh, it's gonna be a problem. And so I used to love when we got a young guy when I was there. It was a young guy named J.U. Chesson and Amari Dalbar. So when they came in, they was really fast. They could run, and Amari was strong. You know, so when J.U. came in, J.U. was a track guy. So as soon as he came in, like I would say, go. And by the time it's time for me to throw the ball up, he's going past the DB. And so I'm just letting it rip. And Brady Hoke seen it so many times. Al Borges seen it so many times. And Al was like, all right, look, we gotta put a play in for him. Just let him run a go route. And I think that's what they're gonna probably have to do for Browder. Is just give him a couple plays, and he might just have, hey, this is your play. You might run a high big post. Let's go see you go get the big post. Let's go get it. Let's give you a couple go routes. If we get close to the goal line, we'll give you a fade. Let Michigan fans know you a little bit. And so we had that moment when JU was a freshman. I was like, hey, can we give him that go route? And Borges would be like, we got him. And then once Coach Hoke was like, hey, it's time to give him one. And I think that's what coaches start trying to do right now. It's like, hey, Browder, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. And he's from Florida. He's a Florida native. So, right, he's from Florida. So I want to see him on the football field. I want to see him make plays. And for what I've been hearing from guys that's watching practice is that Duke could go up and go get the ball. And that's something that you can't teach. And I tell people all the time is some people have things that God has truly blessed you with just to have it. You know, I think about Blake Corum vision. That's his vision and his feet are something that God has always blessed him with, and you're gonna see it from when he was 5 years old to what he's doing right now. And with this kid that I've been talking to other people about, and then I talked to some people from South Florida. They was like, one thing he could do, his catch radius is crazy. He could mouse guys easy, and that's what he do. He goes up and get it.
Yeah. So we were talking about some adjustments coming off of Saturday's game, where they had the protection issues and they had the drop issues, right? So, you know, maybe you might wind up having to shorten your rotation.
Right.
You might have to change your game plan a bit. We had to see how practice goes, right? So you mentioned more 12 personnel as a possibility. I said heading into the break, what about some more play action, Lace? What do you think about that as a possible? Oh, that's gonna remedy?
Be big. That's gonna be big. I think that's gonna be the biggest thing for us this year. Going forward, I think it's gonna be big just because now you got the safeties coming out. Now the safeties can't look the double receiver. He can't look the double tight end or whatever personnel we in. So now once you come off the play action, now this receiver he truly probably has a one-on-one because now he's probably done got on his guy's toes and now he got a chance to beat him. And the safety's going to come up and try to play the run. Obviously, we've been running the ball well. I think we're running team first. So the play action has to be a big factor off us being a great running team. So I think that's the biggest thing. And I think if we do that more, it's definitely going to help the downfield throws. That's going to be a big thing for him because now you come off that fake. Now you got a chance for your guys to be up on the guy's toes and ready to go past him.
Yeah, I feel like the tight ends could be.
Oh yeah,
Big in that.
Marlon could be. He gonna eat off of it. He's gonna eat off of it. That's gonna be his bread and butter. I feel like that's my opinion.
Yeah, that again, you putting them under center, that tight end play, taking that. It's not like that's not in Chip's arsenal.
Right.
It's just what we've been seeing is more in his arsenal.
Right.
So it'd be a bit of a departure.
Yeah, but I tell people all the time. I mean, great coaches adjust and they start making you win with whatever you got. You got to know your personnel and start winning with what your personnel is. I mean, think about it. Like he's coming from the teams that we was 12 personnel all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We sometimes we'll be 13, more three tight ends, So you think about it, and then we'll probably be 3 tight ends, but really added a tackle, So like that's what we've been having success with. If you look at it, So you gotta kind of like go for what you know. And I'm not nothing against Chip, but I feel like once great coaches adjust and win with what they got, and then you start recruiting to get what you want to be. I think next year you're going to obviously have more receivers, and you're going to have more of the offensive line to be able to block, straight drop back. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I mean, because when you got Bryce at quarterback, we're going to drop back a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you can't. People were saying, and it's funny to watch the reactions on Twitter. Look at this conservative game plan. That was not like you could see the game plan was not going to be conservative. They were going to throw the football, but if you can't protect that, at least the way they wanted to throw the football was just blown up right away. They weren't going to be able to protect to throw the football the way that they planned to. Conservative
to win. I think if you win in the game, I mean, you don't want to go out there and drop the ball like Penn State did against UCLA. Like you watch them. They could have easily ran the ball against those guys, against UCLA, but they didn't. They didn't stick to it. They want to put it in the quarterback hands, and sometimes you got to protect your quarterback. Sometimes you the game is to be conservative. Let him be a game manager. Sometimes you need him to be a game manager. Sometimes you need to be a game winner, a game changer, and that happens. It varies from game to game, and sometimes you have to be a game manager. And like we played Penn State at Penn State. We ran the ball. What it was 2 years ago? We ran the ball every time in the second half. So is that conservative? Is that smart to say, hey, we gonna do what we're doing best and let's win off this? Why not? Why not just do that? And I think that's the biggest thing. Sometimes I think people get so enamored with like, oh, we need to score a whole bunch of points.
So here's what I will say though, Lace, and this I'm not contradicting what you're saying. I'm co-signing it to a point.
Okay, talk to me.
They do have to feature receivers to a certain extent. Like I think it's really important for them to have a receiver
that they know they can go to.
Have a go-to receiver, have a really good season, in a way that shows that Bryce is putting up numbers.
Right.
Because they got to be able to attract guys. They got to be able to attract high-profile guys. I mean, they had a guy in the portal that chose UConn over them
as a receiver. Right?
As a receiver, because he felt like, man, there was an issue where he was already at UConn. Mm-hmm. He had transferred to UConn from Wisconsin, and Michigan was trying to get him to come to Michigan from UConn.
Right.
He couldn't come because Michigan's transfer admissions wouldn't let him come. They wouldn't let him come mid-year.
Yep, yeah.
So he was got to wait till the fall.
Right.
And he's like, I'm not going to come practice with this offense in fall camp and then play the season and y'all telling me that y'all going to pass for. I'm just supposed to trust it? No, I'm not doing that. When I'm putting up numbers at UConn, nah. Nope, I don't care. I don't care what y'all gonna pay me. I'm not doing that.
So is that on coaches or the administration? So
I get what you're saying, but I get what you're saying.
I'm trying to understand. Let me hear it.
What he's saying is what y'all do and who y'all are offensively. I don't believe that I'm gonna be able to get off and put up numbers that will get me to the NFL.
I mean,
so that's why I'm saying it's important that they feature receiver en route to win. That it's important for them to demonstrate that a receiver can get off en route to winning.
Okay.
I think they got to be intentional about
that. I think
that.
McCullough is doing that. He's our number one receiver. You see it like when he gets over 5 throws of 5 or 6 catches, or if we give him 5 or 6 targets a game, he's going to probably end up with 100 yards because the type of throws you throw into him is all going to be down the field. He's going to go up and catch the ball. I think he's showing that. So like now you're going to be consistent, and you add a quarterback that's gonna force you to throw the ball.
Right.
And so like I'm not. Don't get too crazy. He went for McCullough had 100 yards. So I look at it as like, okay, that's cool. We're on the path. We're on the right path. I think sometimes we get too caught up in saying like, oh, we don't have a guy. It's like, okay, this guy just went for 100 yards.
Right.
And anytime he gets 6 targets, he's going for 100 yards. Roman Wilson was a 3rd rounder, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like you're gonna have guys in this offense have success. It's about now having more than enough. Now we want to have 3 receivers that can do that, you know?
Right. And so I think ultimately that might be it. You might be in a situation, and this is gonna be probably what they as a coaching staff, you just might not be able to play everybody, man.
Yeah, and that's okay.
You know?
That's okay. But my thing is this: I tell people all the time, like people ask me, like, "Oh, what you think about?" I said, they can't get receivers. I said, when you got Bryce Underwood as your quarterback, receivers gonna want to come play with him. You know why? Because NFL scouts are gonna come to watch him. And if you are a receiver and you're smart, I'm gonna go to where I know scouts gonna for sure come and be there to watch him. And then you have a receiver coach that played in the league and they has a resume of learning how to coach these receivers. He's doing a good job of coaching the receiver, and you can see these guys are starting to come along now.
And when I say not play everybody as much.
Well, for sure,
that's what I mean.
For sure. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think now that you have a quarterback, the receivers gonna start coming, the tight ends gonna start coming, because guess what? NFL scouts gonna be here more times than not. And when he become a junior, it's gonna be flooded. All 32 gonna be here all the time on his. I guarantee on his pro day, it's going to be every last one of the teams in the NFL here watching him.
Yeah, so like I said, it's going to be...
And some from Canada, just to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a big week. It's going to be a big week of practice. They got to get consistency from the receivers. And then game plan-wise, listen, to your point, the way that Illinois kept USC off their quarterback was they ran it. They ran the football.
But that's the way to do it. I mean, if you want to be smart and say, okay, like if we was to look at this offensive line or this defense, this offense, the team, I'll just look at the offense. The offense built to run the ball. Well, let's be honest, we built to run the ball, and so now what you got to do is you got to have the play action off of it, and now we got to get Bryce used to being coming off the play action and making throws downfield off the play action, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing for him. I mean, if we can keep running the ball, and everybody said USC this sack monster team. Well, now guess what? Let's stop limiting the throws. Let's not drop back 40 times. Let's drop back 25 times or 30 times. And that's okay. That's not conservative. That's 30 times we throwing the ball. But that's a good amount of time for a guy to throw the ball.
No doubt. And Luke Altmaier in that game, he threw it 26 times. Okay. 26 times, but he threw for 328 yards.
Okay, then. And guess what? That's off the man. Come on, man. I've been telling you about the play action. The play action is going to be his best friend, and I think it's going to be Bryce. It's going to be Bryce's best friend when he start understanding, like, okay, this what we're about right now. But next year, it's going to be on your team. Now you'll probably be in the gun majority of the time, and you get to drop back and do whatever you want to do with it.
All right, folks. So we're going to get to the overtime with Denard. So if you want to ask questions for Denard, hang with us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and you'll be able to do that and hear from our Monday morning quarterback in overtime. The folks on the radio will be able to listen to it tomorrow here on the Big 1050 WTKA. We thank you for hanging with us on Monday morning quarterback. We'll see those of you on the radio tomorrow. For those of you on the stream, we'll see you in overtime. Thanks for listening on the Big 1050 WTKA, online at thebig1050.com.
Clear on the radio.
All right, folks, if you have questions for Denard, put them in the chat. If you have questions for our Monday morning quarterback, Denard Robinson, put them in the chat right now. We will start knocking them down. Illinois, by the way, they ran the football 35 times for 171 yards, 4.9 yards a carry, and a touchdown. They fumbled it twice into the end zone.
See,
in that game.
Man, come on, man.
So,
you gotta run the ball. You got to be able to run the ball. It got to be a good balance. I think that's what Chip doing a great job of having a great balance of running and passing the ball, and having a certain amount of dropbacks, having a certain amount of nakeds. He's doing a good job of managing that. To me, my opinion, I think he's doing a good job of doing that. And I think if he continue to do that and just add on a little bit more play action to it, it's going to be very beneficial for the offense, because now you got throws downfield that could open it up for these guys to start making these big catches that, all the fans want to see. You. Everybody come to see those big catches and the amazing throws, and that's what I always was taught, that defense win games, offense sell tickets. And so right now we got to start selling tickets. Where we got to get a couple throws down the field, and because Justice Haynes is selling the tickets right now, because he's always going to break one longer than 40 yards.
Yeah, man.
And somebody, one of my good friends, Richard Ash, sent me a stat. He said Justice Haynes was the first running back. Let me read it. Let me get it pulled up. I guess he was let me pull it up right now.
Yep, man. This is a good one. We got lots of questions coming in. Again, if you have questions for Denard, I'm just starting to organize them right now. If you have questions for Denard, put them in the chat. We'll start knocking them down shortly. And we will get them in the chat. And I'm going to start pulling them up and putting them on the screen. So
he showed me a stat, and I didn't even know this stat. Whatever, people be coming up with all kind of crazy stats, but it's not even a real stat. I don't think it's like a real stat to me. He was like, Justice Haynes was the first Michigan player with 100+ yards in his first 5 games since 2010. And guess who the person was that did that? It was me. I had no clue. And my man Richard,
don't even know his own stats.
And my man's Richard Ash, he sent it to me, and he was just like, "Man, you don't even realize how much stuff you done did." And I was like, I don't really too much, worry about that stuff, man, no more. I'm trying to, teach these young guys football now, man. Try to get these guys motivated. But it was kind of cool to see that, because now I always be like, Justice Hayes he's gonna have 100 yards. He's gonna break a 50-yard run. He's gonna break a 40-yard run. And it's kind of cool to see. He's one of those guys, like, when he get the ball in hand, the fans start standing up, ready for him to go score.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and start knocking down the questions. Let's see. This one comes from David Pruden, who asked, Shoelace, what do you think of? Have you watched any of the recruits yet? I have to have you watch Zion Robinson and Travis Johnson, these 2 commits. Okay. So I don't think Denard has seen them yet.
I haven't seen them yet.
All right. Lama Bryant wants to know, Shoelace, if you were Bryce, would you want Chip Lindsey to dial up a couple of deep posts or crossing patterns, or is the O-line's pass blocking the issue?
Cross it, all everything he just named, off the play action. I would want to do all that stuff off the play action. I think because that's gonna be the thing that's gonna help those guys get free, help these guys, the wideouts get open, and distract the defense with their eyes. Their eyes gonna tell them it's gonna be a run play, and now it's a pass, and the guys going on crossing routes. That's gonna be the best way to get those throws downfield.
All right, those 3 off of play action. And it should be getting big bites, man.
Oh, for sure.
And on early downs. So that's the thing.
Yes.
That's the part.
Yes.
On early downs.
On early down, you get them in the first and second. You get in a 2nd and 5 situation. Go ahead and take that shot. Go ahead and put it. Or 2nd and 3. You want to go ahead and take that shot. Go ahead and do it, because now they're gonna think run, and you just throw it right behind them. Or I would get a little risky if it's 3rd and 3. Just no, I wouldn't do it on 3rd and 3. But 2nd and 3, I'll do it. I'll take a shot like that. On 1st and 10, in different parts of the field, I'll try those definitely, because those I think when you get those linebackers to start coming up, it's going to be those safeties going to start. A lot of people going to start having the safeties in the box. They're going to start trying to stop the run, and that's when you're going to go over the top. And I'm pretty sure USC going to probably be thinking that same thing. Like, hey, we got to stop this run, because obviously, Illinois had success doing that.
All right, let's get to more questions for Lace. Next one, Denard. This one from D Frank 12 on Twitter. What are Denard's favorite zone beater routes to throw?
Okay, depends. I mean, depends on when we're trying to go quick game. You know, if we go a quick game, I love a quick stick route. It's when you got the tight end running the 5-yard out and he can sit, and then the slot guys running 5-yard out or he can sit, and then the outside guys running a go route. Depends on what cover we're going against, and those guys going to sit in that zone and do whatever we need to do. And the backside receiver will either have a slant or a hitch route, or we put them on sluggo. Depends on if we got a man coverage or if they man up the coverage we getting 3-by-1 and they man up the backside. I'm gonna look at my guy and be like, hey, let's go slant, and I'll hold the linebacker with my eyes and bang it and let him tuck it and run it. You know, so it depends on what coverage we're getting. If it's a team that like to run cover 6 and they normally have a safety that's on the one man side, cheat over to the three receiver side, and I'll like the full verts. You know, so you it's different things that you like to play with and mess around with. Depends on the coverage that they running. So yeah, I like to mess around with these DBs because it's easier because they got to get to their spots.
So this is an interesting point. I wonder if you agree with this take. I've seen it a lot, Denard, about Bryce. Eric Tolbert, shout out E down in South Carolina, said Bryce needs to take a little steam off the ball sometimes too. He has to figure out he can catch those fastballs and who can't. Now, granted, Division I wide receivers. They may have to grow up to catch that. Too, but what do you think about Bryce? Does he throw everything one speed? Does he have to lighten up some?
I mean, you want him to take off some of it. Depends on if it's short. I played with a guy named Blaine Gabbert. He had a hose for an arm. I mean, he threw the ball out. Like he could throw the ball a mile. And I think when he started taking off in his career, he started learning that he don't have to blast a 5-yard out. You know, he started learning like, okay, certain plays I could throw it like that, and some plays I can't. And then you got to know your personnel. I always tell my quarterbacks that I coach now at Elite Prep is know your personnel. If it's a running back out there, you cannot throw it full go. You got to understand he got to be able to catch the ball. So I do believe that he do have to, know his personnel and know when he can take some off of it when he can. Last week, the week before, when they played against Nebraska, he had a go route, and if he gave Goodwin a chance to be able to see the ball, because he threw the ball on the line, but I think if he would have gave him a chance to just see it a little better, I think it would have been completion. But I battle with that sometimes, because you don't want him to take too much off of it, because now that hurt his accuracy and the timing of where he's throwing the ball at. So, I think he can do it sometimes with learning his personnel. If he learns his personnel, like if it's a receiver out there, I could throw it with some heat to that receiver. Yeah, I could throw it like that. But it's about him learning his personnel. My biggest thing.
All right. Keith C says, can we really run more play action with our O-line still having consistent challenges?
Oh, for sure.
Play action to help them.
Play action
right?
would definitely help them, because now you have them thinking. Because the more you have them thinking, it's like, okay, is it run? Is it pass? Do I have to get back in my zone, or do I have to get into my run fits? So that's the biggest thing about that. When you have those guys on their toes, that's even better for the O-line, because now they get the chance to get up on guys when they think it's a pass play and it's really a run, or when it's a pass play and now the guys trying to get back to get in their zone, and now we got a chance to lock it up and get it done.
All right.
That helps them. It slows the rush down. That's what it does. It slows the rush down, because they got to they got eyes, and they got to be gap sound. If it's a run play, they got to be gap sound, so they can't pin their ears back and just run. Rush.
Here's a shout out for you, Denard. From Facebook. Robert Schaefer says, Denard is such a strong content add to this segment. Thank you for the depth and detail. Shoelace.
Thank you.
Yeah, got a shout out there, Lace.
I appreciate it.
All right. Let's get the super chat from Rex Fit. Sam, you seem to down the pass production, but Bryce threw for 270. How many yards did you feel necessary to feel content? Drops or drops, but we still took the next step. No, I'm down on the drops.
Okay.
And you're gonna need to have more consistency.
Yes.
From those from the receiving group moving forward, or it's gonna be just those two.
Right.
Period. That's what I'm saying.
So he said basically put more of the guys that's going to catch the ball on the field for Bryce. That's what Sam is saying, and I feel the same way because you want to have your playmakers on the field at all times. You don't want to take guys off the field that make plays. If they're going to make plays, why not add them on the field and have them on the field more often and taking more snaps? And that's what I was saying about 12 personnel too. But we did throw for 270, and I respect that.
Yeah, you scored 24 points against Wisconsin.
Yeah, we should have scored more than that.
Yeah, I'm telling you what the production that you saw, Flex Fit, was that passing production that we saw Saturday. You think that's going to beat USC? If you think that is the passing production we saw Saturday is going to beat USC, I disagree with you. That's what I'm saying. I disagree with you.
But see, okay, yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
I disagree. So,
yeah.
Moving on. Let's go to the next one. This one comes from Manuel Riggins. Says, when do you think we will click on all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams?
Yeah, it's one of the ones that it's going to come together. I mean, eventually it has to. In order for us to be where we want to play at, and if we want to play in the Big Ten Championship, we got to start clicking. Because, I mean, you're not going to beat the team in Columbus with all of them not clicking. You're not going to beat that team. I'll tell you that much. And even USC going to be a tough fight because you're going to have to do certain things to win that game. And so you got to be ready to answer the call.
Yeah, you hope it starts this week.
It got to start this week. It has to. It has to start being a routine thing that happens for this team. I mean, you got to start having all of them benefit each other because we done had a couple games where the defense played well and the offense didn't play as well. And you done had the time where the offense played well and the defense didn't play well. So, I mean, the special teams didn't play well. So now you got to get everybody bought into being able to play special teams and offense and defense, hold each other accountable.
How much do you attribute to coming off the bye? Was it ever, in the years that you played, did you ever, guys, when you came off the bye, were you ever like not sharp coming off the bye?
I've been like that in the NFL, but not college. College, you're still on campus. You still have to go to class. You're still in the same routine. You don't lose the routine. So, I mean, you might not have nothing to play on the weekend. So, but for the most part, you're practicing. You're still doing the same routine. So you kind of stay in that same routine. So I don't know if it happens. It don't happen as much in college because of that reason. You're still in that same routine and still going. Man, I can't blame on that because it's just special teams. I mean, they didn't play as they should have, and the offense didn't. We wanted the offense to score more points, but they had a lot of yards. Mm-hmm. It's just about scoring now, being consistent and scoring a lot of points.
All right,
what you think about it? What you think about that? Like those guys being able to.
I do think that there was some. I thought there was some rust coming off the bye. I think maybe there was some. It's Wisconsin,
right?
Looking ahead to SC. I'm not saying it was all that. Right. Make no mistake. They've had protection issues. Mm-hmm. So, they have some deficiencies there that have not been fixed. Some of them may not be fixable.
See, my concern is about this week. You're going to travel across country and you're playing at 7:30. And you got to get used to the time adjustment.
I actually like because of because of the time adjustment, I actually like that they're playing at 7:30.
See, but I'm saying like your body got to adjust to being over there because I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably go out there early, and it's a long flight. You getting off a long flight, you got to adjust to being in California. It's probably gonna be a little sunny. You're gonna be a little different. Got to get used to the ball being in the air with the sun out. But I obviously playing at night now. But now you got to be the bright lights.
Mhm.
Are you ready to go to travel this long distance to California? And are you gonna be ready to answer the call?
Mhm.
And like I see Penn State struggle with traveling. They played at UCLA, I'm assuming, right?
Mhm.
So you got to travel all the way from the Midwest to the West Coast. That's a big difference. Playing for the Jaguars. My whole time at the Jaguars, we never won when we went West Coast because of that reason. I don't know what it was.
Really?
We never won when we went to the West Coast. So like now, I think there's got to be an emphasis on getting your sleep. Getting your sleep. Make sure you getting your rest and understanding like what mission we're on to go out there to the West Coast.
Yeah, man. That's a discipline thing. Like
Yes.
you gotta be disciplined. You gotta prioritize getting your rest.
Because
To your point.
Yeah, you're gonna be on a different time zone, and you might be going to sleep at a different time. So I'm glad it's a night game because now you probably can sleep through the day a little bit. But them jitters, like I always tell people that day before, you really don't get any sleep. That's kind of restless. If you're a great guy, a great player, you want to be great, it's hard for you to sleep. So you got to start getting your sleep right now. And so that going out the West Coast, I think that's a big thing that we got to kind of like lock in and be ready for that because you don't want to go out there and do what Penn State did and lay an egg in the game to a team that you shouldn't lose to.
All right. Next question. Let's go ahead and knock the super chats out. Let's see. FlexFit came back with another super chat. Appreciate you. In the 2011 OSU game, you threw a TD to Tay Odoms, but it looked like you were throwing it to a different receiver, but Odom snagged it instead.
Oh no, it was definitely to Odom. It was an all goal, and I think Kevin Kroger was on the seam route on the other side, but I knew Martavis Odom was going to get it because I'm throwing it to him. He had a bend, he was bending, and it was against Ohio State. I threw the ball and caught that. That's my guy, Martavis Odom. Shout out to you, my man. The Muck boys, the Hokie guys, my guys. Yeah. Shout out to Brandon Hawthorne, Vincent Smith, and Martavis Odom. Them boys they welcomed me in when I came in in the summer. Those dudes, they gave me a home and made sure I was good to go. JT Floyd, Terrence Robinson, JT Floyd being from South Carolina, and Terrence Robinson coming out of Texas. So those dudes was always my guys. But when I threw that ball to Martavis Odom, I knew he was right there. I knew where he was going, and Martavis could flow. He could run. So. And if you did notice that Kevin Kroger got a flag thrown on him because the guy jumped on his back and he got pass interference on that play. Yeah, I still remember plays like that. I'm one of those guys that like once I play in the play, if I see a picture, I could probably tell you what play it was and what game it was, and I don't have to see anything else but just the picture.
All right, next question is from, let's see, there's a lot of them in here. Let's not get repeat questions.
Let's go.
All right, because there are a lot of them in here. Next one, let's go with John Walls. Does the OC tell the position coaches who they want on certain plays, or is it all the position coach's decision who they have in there?
Oh, for sure. You call plays for players. I mean, that's a big thing. Like OC always call plays for players. Like I don't care what level you on. You always want to call plays for players. Like you put your players in the best position to win games. So like, even the receiver coach would say, "Hey, I like this guy in this position to make these plays." Like that's you always set up like, okay, the OC and the position coach would be like, "Hey, who you like running the stick route? Do you want a tight end to run the stick route, or do you want Samaj to get in the slot and run the stick route because he's shiftier than the tight end? Or do you want the big body guy to go in there to box the guy out and catch the ball?" It depends on what type of personnel you go in there. So like those are the things that the OC and the receiver coach and the tight end coach will have a conversation about. Or you might have a running back like Donovan Edwards was a guy that we put him in positions to go run a route against a linebacker. And when we see him against a linebacker on a go route, guess what? He made hay. So when Mike Hart would say, hey, let's put him on a go route to go make those plays that he normally make, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You got, as an OC, you got to put your guys in position to make plays.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here's a question. Tommy Williamson, why is there such a noticeable difference to the offense when Moore is the head coach and when Biff was? They look like two totally different teams. That is very concerning.
No, man. No, stop.
This is confirmation bias, Tommy.
Stop.
Stop. You have an opinion of, I think, what the team was under Sharon, and it's being confirmed by the outcome.
Yeah.
What happened Saturday was they couldn't block.
Yeah.
That's what happened Saturday.
Right.
Period. And that's all that happened. Is they couldn't block.
That D line is pretty. I told you they was pretty stud. They was decent. They're not great. They're not good, but they was decent. And those guys are fighting for their life. Like Wisconsin right now is fighting for their life. They're scratching right now. They scraping and that coach is trying to get himself back to where he want to be at, but they scratching, scraping, and you can't blame. Come on, man. I mean, stop reaching.
Yeah, just use a little deductive reasoning for a moment. Take a breath and just separate from your mind the distorted notion that Sharon was telling Chip what plays to call early in the season, which was totally out of whack and totally not true. All right. Let's set that aside.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at how they started this game with a flea flicker and with Andrew Marsh in the starting lineup. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And how in the press conference, he earlier in the week was talking about Andrew Marsh and Jamar Browder.
Right.
They were going into this game planning to throw the football all over Wisconsin.
Right.
With drop back passing being a huge element in this game.
Right.
They couldn't protect.
They couldn't do it. I mean, that's what happened.
That was the problem. Game plan got blown up.
Yeah,
so now you got to adjust.
You got to adjust, and they did a good job adjusting. You win the game by 14. It's not pretty, but it's 14 points still. It's 2 touchdowns. I mean, what else you want him to do? I mean, you want him to beat him by 40, and then you will say, "Oh, the offense looked great. Everybody was great to go." Like, stop making.
You can't make them catch the football either. You can't make them not drop the ball.
Yeah.
So what does that have to do with the team? That's not a play call, dropping the ball.
Right.
Not a play call, can't protect. That is, you got to work on, all right, either you protect better or you got to change the approach as far as personnel is concerned, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some different things you got to do to kind of maybe coach around those deficiencies if they aren't fixed with repetition.
Facts. But I just think about this, okay, so I'm looking at the score from the Nebraska game. It was 27-30, right? So what did the defense not? So the defense played well this game, and then the offense didn't play as well this game. So now is that Sharon Moore fault? Like, come on, man. Like, I think we sometimes get so lost in the sauce. I mean, we played Central Michigan, we beat them 53-3. So now, 63-3. So now all of a sudden, we played Central Michigan. I think if we would play Central Michigan this weekend, it still would have been 63-3, right? Don't you think? So
yes.
let's not reach or say, oh, and I love Biff. Nothing against Biff, but Biff is a great leader. I think he's one of those guys that, he's the calm to a storm, and he's calm to a lot of people in that building. But
yeah, I heard, and see, some of that is fueled by people with no knowledge. Like Rick Neuheisel got on national TV and said, yeah, it's clear that after the Central Michigan game that, I could tell that maybe the OC based on the head coach not being there this week, was free to do what he wanted to do. And the head coach was in practice the whole week.
Like, what are you talking about?
The whole week.
You don't think he was helping them out with the game
like,
plan?
come on, man.
He
put the whole game plan in. He put the whole game plan in.
Come on, man.
Like, stop it, man. People make stuff up.
Yeah.
People make stuff up.
Because guess what? Sometimes, what's life without a little spice? That's what happened. They got to put some spice in there. Oh yeah, that's what happened. Let's get a couple clicks here. That's what's going on, man. Like, stop. Don't overthink it. I mean, at some point people were saying fire Harbaugh.
Yep, I remember that.
At some point people were saying that, and I was just looking at people like, "Are y'all serious? You can't be serious." But that's how it goes sometimes, and that's when you get into that job, people start reaching. And that's what you just did, young man. You reached. We're gonna start having a segment called Reached. Stop reaching.
All right, on to the next question. And that comes from, let's see, I already answered Flex Fit. And Lama Bryant says, shout out to Sam's Marathon Radio coverage Friday with Ann, U of M, University of Michigan Credit Union. Love the stories from Braylon Edwards and Coach Carr was so hard. Why Coach Carr was so hard on the freshman year. Denard, you were out there at that event as well.
Yes.
That was I told some great stories, man.
Yeah.
I told some great stories out at that event. That is on the YouTube page for those that missed it.
Coach Lloyd was hard on Braylon, huh? What was the story about that? About what happened?
Yeah, he's just talking about how Lloyd was really hard on him, especially early in his career, making him earn wearing the number one.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about, hey, man, going through, cutting his hair, he got called out in some press conferences about his play.
Really?
Got called out directly. Yeah, he's like, he thought it was unfair at the time, but he gets it now.
For sure. Oh, for sure. I mean, as a quarterback, there's no, you get called out all the time, 24/7. I mean, so you just got to get used to that. And yeah.
He got called out by his coach, though. I don't think Rich Rod or Brady never called you out in the press conference, did they? Lace, I never remember you get called out by the coach.
I don't remember. No, I don't never.
Lace never got called out.
I don't think
you got called out by some fans, but never by coach.
A lot of fans call me out. I never really cared too much about that. I mean, I love our fans, but sometimes you got to just let it go.
Yeah. Kobe Nicholas says, I hear changing the calls and plays for these receivers, but I don't agree. These receivers need more reps with the jug machine, with the speeds faster than Bryce, if that's possible. More reps like Amon-Ra St. Brown catching the fastballs off the jugs. You think that'll help, Lace?
Oh, for sure. For sure. You catch the ball off the jugs, that's definitely gonna help what you're catching. But I think the best reps is actually going out and running routes with the quarterback, because now the ball placement is going to be different. If the jug, you know exactly where the ball is going to be at, and you can't simulate if a ball behind you or too high. So you got to figure that out. But being on the jug machines, I tell people all the time, if you're a receiver, you should be catching minimum 100 balls a day.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum. You should be on the jug machine all the time. That should be your best friend, because now your hands get used to, catching that ball. That's the biggest thing. So when I transitioned, when I got to the league, I tried to catch the ball at least 100 times a game, a day. So I do 100 before practice and 100 after. That was always my thing.
All right. Here's a question from Mark Allen, who's a big fan of yours.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Mark? Would it be an advantage to swap Samaj out and bring in one of the bigger receivers on certain downs, Marsh or McCulley in the slot, to provide a bigger target over the middle? Mark from Flint. What's up, Mark?
What's good, Mark?
So putting someone bigger in the slot.
I think, I like Samaj in the slot because Samaj is a mismatch for a nickel or a linebacker, because he's quick. He can make people miss. He can, get in and out of those cuts. But I think now you start putting that big body in there, you give them a chance to go against a guy to body them or jump up, be more athletic than them. So I think that's something that's a wrinkle that you can put in the offense. We were just talking about that. Me and Sam talked about that. I think that'll be a great wrinkle to put in his offense, to put one of those guys in the slot and say, hey, you got these couple plays in there. Samaj's gonna probably be the starter, but give you these couple of plays and let's go make some plays. So I think, that gives Bryce 3 big targets. And I think if you got 3 big targets on the field, I mean, that's a quarterback dream. I think about when Nico, Donovan, and who was the other receiver? Tariq Black.
Mm-hmm.
And all those guys were 6'2" or better. And when you got 6'2" or better at receiver, I like our chances. I like our receiver chances of making catches and going up and making those crazy catches, or just the catch radius. When you have those big targets, they have long arms. They're able to catch the ball and places that a lot of guys like Samaj. I'm not knocking him, but he's shorter. So when you have a bigger target, it's a bigger range. So now I can throw the ball wherever I like, because now I know he's taller than a lot of guys that he's going to be going against. He's going to be more athletic to jump to catch that pass. So I enjoy throwing the big receivers, and I enjoy throwing to the small receivers when they had the mismatch and they can make guys, run in and out of breaks and catch the ball. Like that's what Samaj does. But if you add that wrinkle of putting a big receiver inside the slot, it's going to be special.
All right, on to the next one. Kerry, my man Kerry came with a good question. Shout out to Kerry. Oh, wait, hold on. I just lost all my questions. We'll get to the last few because they're coming through big for you this week.
They're coming
through big. I'm not gonna be able to get to all you guys' questions. I'm sorry, because there's so many this week that there are too many to get through. And I gotta get Lace on out. All right, where is Carrie's question? I want to make sure that I get it in. All right, here we go. From Carrie, Denard, can you talk about the screen game where Bryce's mobility could have misdirection screen like the one you threw to Vincent Smith versus Notre Dame be an added element to the offense?
Oh, for sure. I'm pretty sure they got a throwback screen already lined up for this. But I mean, just because they run a lot of outside zone, they do some boots. So I think that's going to definitely be a wrinkle that they put in the game, and it's probably already in already. They just haven't called it yet. Because those are plays that you practice, and you practice it for certain games and certain occasions. Like when you see like a guy that overplay it and try to chase down from the back. So you got to call it when it's right. You don't just call those plays when it's against anybody. You got to call it against a DN that's over aggressive or doing things that it calls for you to call that play. So I think you gotta set guys up for that type of play that work.
Okay.
I used to enjoy that in practice.
All right. Last few for Lace. And so he putting it right to you. Patrick says, Lace, do you think we've seen more 11 than 12 personnel because Chip is more comfortable with that? Or is it maybe more the health of the tight ends?
And see, that's what I want to know. Like that's a great question, because I thought the same thing. And I'm like, because we're not seeing a heavy dose of Marlon like how we seen early on.
Well, so Marlon has been back more, but Hogan Hansen is who we haven't seen.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Marlon's been back, but he hasn't been the big dose that we've seen in the first 2 weeks. You get what I'm saying?
And we haven't seen Hogan Hansen. Ira, Hogan Hansen didn't play, did he?
He played briefly earlier in the year, but he did not play on Saturday.
Yeah. See that, and that's what we're trying to figure out.
And he's the number 2 tight end. We saw Zach Marshall.
Zach Marshall was in there. So like that's that's what you try to figure out. Like, what's the health of those guys? Are they really ready to go? Hopefully, I thought after the bye week we was going to see heavy 12, but it might be something with the health. That was a great question, because that's what I thought the same thing.
Yeah, is your number 2 tight end better than your number 3 receiver?
Yeah, and that's the question you got to ask yourself, and that's the question that that's what you say the OC going with the receiver coach and the tight end coach, and we're like, hey, we're gonna call these couple plays in practice this week, and if these guys do better in that trip formation, why not just have these be 2 tight ends? Or let's keep how it was. These guys going to make the plays that we think they can make. So I think we're going to see this Saturday if the receivers play better than the tight ends or the tight ends play better than receivers.
Yeah, I think that there might be something to that.
It might be some health. It might be health.
That might be something.
Yeah, might be.
That question, I think, is it in a nutshell. It's an excellent question.
Because he's paying attention.
He's paying attention a lot.
I like it.
It is very perceptive, and that might be it. Maybe when Hogan Hansen comes back around, maybe that's the play.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
That they go more 12. Because if you rewind the tape, when the Oklahoma game we talked about, man, when they didn't have Marlon Klein, it was a huge absence.
Yes.
In the run game, especially.
Yes. And so that's what I'm saying. So when you got those guys there, it's a big difference. So I think that's going to be a factor in us having success this year.
All right. Let's finish it off. Let's
do it.
Zach Swank says, Denard, you say all the time to have your QB tell the OC about 15 plays they love and know well. What do you feel so far could be Bryce's favorite plays just from what the play calls have been so far?
I think he loved throwing a dig route. So anything with a dig on because like he loves a dig with a hollow dig. He loves a guy running a dig route or in like a whip route on the backside with the dig, or like this last week he threw the check down. But I could see that he checked to see if the dig won, and he went to this second read and came back to the check down that was on the same side as the high low of the dig route. And I think the dig is going to be his biggest thing, and seam routes, throwing two verts in the seam or whatever you put on the outside. And I think that's his biggest thing. And then on the play action tip, well, like the big throws that he throw downfield, when he started throwing the ball downfield, that's going to be a big thing for him. Coming out the play action and throwing the crossers. I think that's going to be something that he's going to have to start putting in his thing. But also another thing he throws was that corner or the flood route. A flood route is like a 15-yard and you straight down the line. A corner route, he's running, taking it high to the pylon. He throws those balls pretty well. And I think he put the ball placement of those throws that I love seeing him. Because like this weekend, he ran the flood concept on the he rolled out to go get to it. And the way he put the ball where nobody else could get it but his guy, I think that's what he does well.
All right, last two. Micaiah, thanks for the super chat. Denard, what do you think about Chip spreading them out and adding the backs to the passing game?
See, I don't think that's our identity. And I have been saying that since week one. Like, our identity is not to be
go for a wide. No,
it's not. That's not our identity. That's not our identity. Is really it should be 12 personnel, but right now it's 11, where you got one tight end and 3 receivers, 1 running back. I think that's our personnel right now, but I think our true personnel is 12 and running the ball, going downhill, and let Justin Hayes be the bell cow.
And then the last question from AJ. This is a good one.
Let me hear it.
This wants you to do a grade. AJ Southward says, Sam and Denard, do you consider Underwood ahead of schedule for a freshman? What would your letter grade be for him?
Ooh.
Is he ahead of schedule for a freshman? What would your letter grade be?
For sure. He is for sure ahead of where I thought he would be at. Like I told people before, I was like, hey, I don't know if a freshman would be able to do it. And he's answering every call that I've seen, because every question I had for him is because he's growing every week. And like me and Sam talked about, we see him go through his progression and go to a check down. And for a freshman to do that is great to see, because you got some rookie quarterbacks that don't go to the check down. And so to see him do that and go to the check down and make that throw, those are the things that you see him growing. And if I had to give him a letter grade, I'll probably say a B. I'd give him a nice B, man. I think he's doing a great job of what he's doing. I think he got some room for improvement. And that just comes with him being a freshman. So I give him a B for sure. And I'm pretty sure he'll give himself a B. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't give himself an A, but me personally, because you want to grow. He got some things that he need to grow on, and if you watch his film, you know he got some things he got to grow up.
Mm-hmm. David Pruden says, do you think coaching staff would ever revisit Calvin Russell, or is that over with? Yes, revisit. You'd have to stop visiting Calvin Russell.
Come on, man.
They're still visiting Calvin Russell. Hey, even Michigan basketball was in Calvin Russell's school recently. How about that?
I mean, if you think
even
about
Michigan basketball is on them still. How about that nugget for you?
So here's a good one for you, because you know I'm from South Florida. I'm a South Florida kid. You know, Coach Dusty was his first offer from basketball at FAU, because when he was at FAU, he recruited him.
Okay.
So he was his first basketball offer.
Okay.
So that's a little nugget that
you going deep.
We can keep playing on that.
You going deep. Well, I do know that Michigan basketball was in his school recently.
Yeah,
He's still Michigan football still on him. Okay, I'll fact check that too.
If you fact check
but I'm
that
just
one.
telling y'all that no, it's not that revisit. They haven't stopped visiting. So just throw that little nugget in there. Bobby Stevenson says Shoelace was one of the most electric players I've ever seen. From his first play, literally was crazy, to his final year. Barry Sanders' home run ability, he can teach him some things. You know, Granddaddy Crypto says Monday morning quarterback is pure gold every week. Thank you, Shoelace, for taking the time to drop some knowledge on us.
I appreciate it.
People are loving you,
Appreciate
Lace.
the love. Appreciate the love. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Let's keep breaking some records, man. Let's get this thing going. And hopefully I'm gonna start coming up with some segments that we can start having on here and make it a little funner and have it go crazy.
It's fun every week.
Yes, sir.
So, folks, that's going to do it for the Monday Morning Quarterback. We appreciate you for dropping in with us every single week. We'll see you next week here on the Monday Morning Quarterback.